Hi, listeners. It's Erin here, and I wanted to jump on to share a very special episode as we move toward the new year. I'm going to bring you behind the scenes at Nat Theo, and then we'll enjoy some fun nature questions from some of our listeners. Before we get going, is your parent or caregiver with you? This special episode is for them too, because we have some special news to share. So if they are not with you, go ahead and get them now. Don't worry, I'll wait. Okay, is your parent or caregiver with you? Then let's get started. Do you ever wonder what it's like to produce Nat Theo? Do you wonder if there's a fancy studio with maybe monkeys swinging around and aquariums full of sharks or other exotic marine creatures? Well, we don't have monkeys swinging around or aquariums full of exotic marine creatures, but we do have 4 aquariums full of fish and axolotls. There's also a playful dog named Boreal who sometimes pushes open the studio door looking for pets while I'm recording. There's also a sweet and sassy orange cat named Fisher. My curious kids are often running around right outside the door while I record, and sometimes join me in the studio. Speaking of the studio, it is nothing fancy. It's really just a room in our home. Each week on my recording day, I set up my mic and lighting, place my laptop at the right height by propping it up on a plastic box, and I use my phone to record video and open the window shade for natural lighting. We are a simple operation over here, but we also love watching as God is growing Nat Theo and has brought together an amazing team of 7 people who every week makes Nat Theo lessons possible for you to listen to. I wake early each morning before the sun rises to read and research and write. After each lesson is written, it is sent over to our amazing writing, editing, and design team. Our scientist, Jill Smith, checks over all the science and makes sure everything is accurate and rightly communicating the wonders of God's creation. Our curriculum team gets to work, turning each lesson into a full activity guide with extra science, a devotional, and activities for Nat Theo Club members. Each week, I set aside an afternoon to record, and then I hand off the recording to our amazing editing team at Sonomorphic, a Christian family company that gets each episode sounding great for you to listen to or watch at home. If you were to guess how many hours one lesson takes, what would you guess? One lesson of Nat Theo can take around 25 hours to make. And if our team runs down a rabbit hole while researching and gets distracted by countless other things to discover, it can take even longer. And that happens a lot because just like you, our team is full of curious people who love exploring God's wild and wonderful world. So, why do we go through all this work? Besides following our own curiosity, we are seeing God working in amazing ways around the world through Nat Theo. One mom recently shared with us that her son chose to follow Jesus after listening to our lesson on ants. Isn't that wonderful? An ant lesson, a kitchen table conversation, a child saying yes to Jesus. That brought me joyful tears because that is exactly why we make this podcast. And that one story represents so many moments that I will never see here on earth. Kids listening in the minivan on the way to co-op or school. Families listening together while driving to a trailhead. Brothers and sisters sprawled on the living room floor talking about seeds and sparrows and how much God loves them. This past year, families pressed play on Nat Theo lessons over 930,000 times across 169 countries, and we're not even to the end of the year yet. That number is huge, but what I picture is one child at a time hearing that the God who made this wild and wonderful world also made them, knows them, loves them, and invites them into His family. Listeners, we have a big, bold mission here at Nat Theo. Are you ready to hear it? Our goal is to share the gospel, the good news of Jesus, with families 250,000 times every month. We will do that by sharing the gospel message and an invitation to follow Jesus in at least one lesson every month. That means a very big goal of 1.25 million listens every month. That's big. It honestly feels a little wild to say it out loud. But listeners, the truth is, someone is most likely to choose to follow Jesus between the ages of 4 and 14. And those are the ages that we serve here on Nat Theo. And we are already seeing God move us in that direction. And there are so many more families who still have not heard about Nat Theo. We want to invite you to partner with us in 3 big ways. Number 1, pray for more families to hear about Nat Theo and learn about God's truth through His wild and wonderful world. 2, share Nat Theo with all your friends. Send them a link to listen to your favorite episode. And 3, help support Nat Theo financially. You see, producing Nat Theo costs money too. And God is so big and so great and has provided for our production costs. We are trusting that He will continue to provide in the coming year. To meet our goal well in 2026, we have some very real, very practical costs. Above and beyond all the hours spent researching, writing, and recording, here's what we are trusting God to provide for the next year. Post-production edits for a year cost $17,940. Strategic and prayerful content creation, including emails, social media, and our blog to reach more families, cost $15,780. Our administrative costs are $3,840, and our software costs to keep everything running are $2,845. These needs don't include curriculum development costs, which are over $56,000 for the year. We are so grateful to our faithful business sponsors and Nat Theo Club members who help cover many of these costs. As we look to 2026, we sense the Lord opening new doors, and we are asking Him to provide for our production costs so we can say yes to those opportunities and reach more families. Listeners, you can help support Nat Theo at aaronlynham.com/give or at the link in our show notes. Every gift goes directly toward producing Nat Theo and reaching more families. Okay, so now you know our mission: to share the gospel with families 250,000 times each month. And you know how you can help by praying, sharing, and supporting Nat Theo through giving at the link in our show notes. Now, let's move on to answering some curious questions from our listeners. Here's our first question.
Hi, my name is Charlie, and I'm 9 years old, and I'm from Tennessee. And I have a question. How do sharks eat their food without choking?
What an excellent question, Charlie. How do sharks eat their food without choking? Sharks have lots of sharp teeth, and they use them to cut and tear their food into smaller pieces. They don't chew their food like we do. Instead, a shark will bite its prey and then shake its head side to side to rip off smaller chunks that are easier to swallow. But if a shark swallows a piece that is too big, it can get stuck in its mouth or throat. This is dangerous because sharks need water to flow over their gills so they can breathe underwater. If the food blocks the water, the shark won't get oxygen and could suffocate. That means sharks have to be very careful to not take bites that are too big. Not all sharks eat big animals, though. The whale shark is a filter feeder. It eats tiny creatures called plankton. Since plankton are so small, they are easy to swallow. So, not all sharks eat big chunks of food. But like us, the ones that do need to be careful not to bite off more than they can swallow. Here is our next question.
Hi, my name is Tomlin. I'm 8 years old and I live in New York, and my question is, how fast can a cheetah run?
You know, Tomlin, I wondered about the same thing when I was your age. How fast can cheetahs run? Cheetahs are the fastest land animals on Earth. They can run up to 75 miles per hour, or about 120 kilometers per hour. That is faster than a car on the highway. But they can only keep that speed for about 30 seconds. So most of the time, they sneak up to get close to their prey before sprinting after it. God designed cheetahs in this way to run incredibly fast. Their flexible backbone works kind of like a spring. As it stretches and bends with each stride, it stores energy and helps push their legs forward. Their long legs give them a huge stride, covering lots of ground with each step. Their slim, lightweight bodies make them aerodynamic, built to glide. Their long, heavy tails act like a counterbalance, helping them make sharp turns without stumbling or falling over. Finally, their claws don't fully retract like a house cat's, which gives them extra grip on the ground, kind of like runners wearing spiked shoes. With all these features, cheetahs are true speed machines, perfectly designed for chasing and catching their prey. Here's our next question.
Hi, my name is Caroline. I'm 9 years old and live in Texas, and I was wondering how animals survive if they're born without a limb.
Caroline, I love that you thought of this question. It's hard to think of an animal being born without a leg, but how else might God have designed them to live well when this does happen? Sometimes animals are born without a leg. How well they survive depends on the kind of animal and which leg is missing. For some animals, the missing part matters a lot. For example, if a bird is missing a wing, it is very hard to live because it cannot fly. Very large animals, like maybe an elephant or a horse, usually struggle the most. Their bodies are so heavy that losing a leg might make it very hard for them to move or survive. But think about this. If a bird is missing a leg, it can still learn to catch food or perch on branches with the other leg. And many four-legged animals can survive on 3 legs. If they have a parent to protect them while they grow, they have a better chance of surviving. If they live in a pack, like wolves, the group can help care for them. Also, animals with long tails, like monkeys or squirrels, can use their tails to balance. And think about smaller animals that are low to the ground, like rabbits. They can often adjust more easily to a missing leg. Even pets like dogs can learn to live on 3 legs. They figure out new ways to move around, sometimes by hopping or shifting their weight. Because Earth is cursed by sin, many things in nature are broken. They don't work the way that God designed them to. This includes when an animal is born without a leg. But thankfully, God gave many animals other ways of getting around, even if they are missing a leg. And one day, God's creation will be made new. Okay, we have time for one more question.
Hi, my name is Peyton Sophia. I'm 7 years old. I live in Washington State. I would like to know, how do spiders not get caught in their webs?
What a great question, Peyton Sophia. How do spiders not get caught in their webs? This makes me think of the times that I have walked right into a spider's web. I'm sure glad I did not get stuck. A spider makes silk from special organs called spinnerets, located on the underside of its abdomen, so kind of like on its belly. It uses its feet to pull silk out of the spinnerets and weave a web. Not all spider silk is sticky, though. Spider webs usually have both sticky and non-sticky strands of silk. Some strands are covered in tiny droplets of glue-like stuff that the spiders leave to trap their prey. So when the spider is walking across its own web, it avoids the strands that are covered in sticky stuff. God also designed web-building spiders with special features to keep them from getting stuck. They have 3 claws on each foot, which is called a tarsus, to help them grab onto the web strands as they walk around. They also have tiny special hairs that keep the sticky glue from getting stuck to their legs as they make their webs. A sticky web is no problem for a spider, thanks to the special features that God gave them. If you want to learn more about spiders and how they make their webs, check out lesson 38. Thank you, Charlie, Tomlin, Caroline, and Peyton Sophia for your great questions. Stay curious about God's wild and wonderful world. It's questions like these and your kids' curiosity that inspires us to keep making Nat Theo lessons. And don't forget about our big goal, to share the gospel with families 250,000 times every month. Listeners, we are so glad each of you is on this adventure with us, exploring God's wild and wonderful world. Will you help more families this coming year to discover Nat Theo? Please partner with us through prayer, sharing Nat Theo, and considering giving a one-time or monthly gift at the link in our show notes. Until next time, keep exploring God's wild and wonderful world.
With every passing day there's more, calling you out to explore. Get up and go. Yeah, we are